Okay, we're talking about traffic signs, and there's three different types of signs. There's regulatory signs, warning signs, and temporary traffic control signs. Okay, you need to be aware of these when you're driving because they can save your life. Okay, first one we're talking about is a red octagon sign that says stop. Obviously, you've seen all these around, and you have to obey the stop signs for your protection and for other people. Another sign that comes that you're going to see a lot is an upside down triangle. It's going to be red and it says yield. That means that whenever you see this sign, you have to slow down and pay attention to your surroundings because there will either be oncoming traffic or some other things that you have to be aware of when you're coming to an intersection. Whenever you see a circle with a line through it, that means you cannot take that action. For example, this is no left turn. That means you cannot take a left turn at a traffic signal or at a stop sign or at an intersection. Okay, this means no right turn. This means you cannot turn right at an intersection or at a traffic light. And then no U-turn. A lot of times you'll see these in the medians where they do not want you to cross the median or do any type of U-turn because that causes a lot of accidents. One-way signs, you'll see this. This is where the traffic can only flow in one direction. Okay, you'll see a lot of these inside large cities. For city blocks, you'll see one-way signs. You cannot go the opposite direction or you will cause an accident. These are only signs. You can only go in one direction. This says left. You can only go into a lane that goes left. Okay, a lot of times you'll pull up to an intersection and you have to be in the right lane to either go left or go right. Okay, this one here says that you can go left, but there's going to be oncoming traffic going the opposite direction. The left turn yield on green sign. Now this means that you have to stop and look for oncoming traffic and then proceed with caution as you're taking a left turn. Obviously this is a speed limit sign. You cannot go over the maximum speed limit that's posted. This says 55. You cannot go over 55 miles an hour. This is a do not pass sign, and this means that you cannot pass any cars that are ahead of you in your lane. This is a median sign, and it tells you that you have to keep right of the median. Okay, so when you're entering a highway or you're entering a median, you have to stay to the right hand side. This sign here, you'll see a lot of these in big cities where the lanes are reserved for vehicles with a driver and one or more passengers. This is when a lot of people, they like to carpool to back and forth to work, and so you'll see a lane that's only dedicated for people that have two or more people inside the vehicle. This is a no turn on red sign, which means that if you're at a stoplight, you cannot take a right turn on red, and you have to wait for the light to turn green. When you see this sign that's reserved for parking, this means a handicapped parking only. That means that only people that have certified a license plate that says handicapped or a handicapped sticker, they are the only ones that are able to park in the parking space. Now let's talk about warning signs. Warning signs are usually orange or yellow. Okay, these tell you that you have to slow down because something is up ahead and that you have to change your speed. Okay, this one means that the exit is coming up and that when you take that exit, you have to at least be down to 25 miles an hour and proceed with caution. This here tells you that the speed is going to be changing up ahead, and so if you're doing 65 miles an hour up ahead, you're going to have to change that speed and slow down to 45 miles an hour. This is a traffic signal telling you that there's going to be a traffic light coming up, that you need to slow down for that. This is a no passing zone. You'll see these a lot around schools and hospitals and things like that. So you cannot pass other cars that are ahead of you. This means this arrow with the indication there on the right shows you that there's oncoming traffic coming into your lane going in the same direction. Okay, so you have to be aware of that's coming up. This sign here shows you that the lane is closing on the right hand side, so that you need to shift to your left lane. This here shows you that the divided highway begins and that you have to stay on the right hand side of that of the median. This here shows you that the divided highway ends and that you have to keep right. A lot of times what will happen is the median will end and then you'll be side by side with oncoming traffic, so you have to be careful of that and slow down. When you see this sign of entering traffic, you must yield to the right of way of the traffic that's already in the circle. That means when you see a rotary sign like this and there's traffic inside the rotary, you have to sit and wait until there's a break, until you could come and get into the circle and go to where you need to go. This sign here, you'll see when the pavement is wet, you have to reduce your speed because it's going to be very slippery. These signs here where it says dimensions, that means you're approaching a bridge that's 13 feet by 6 inches. That means if you're carrying a load that's 14 feet, you will not fit underneath an underpass or a bridge. Okay, so you have to pay attention to that if you're driving trucks or vehicles or any type of cargo. This sign here will tell you that there's a steep grade ahead and that you have to proceed with caution, especially if you're carrying a lot of weight. Deer crossings, that's self-explanatory. Usually when they put signs up like this, it means that there have been a lot of deer sightings in the area and that you have to proceed with caution. This is a road sign that joins another street, so that you have to pay attention to oncoming traffic on your right hand side. This T sign is going to show you that the road that you're on is going to be coming to a stop, and you can either go right or left, okay, but you have to proceed with caution. Whenever you see people in the sign like this, it usually means pedestrians and school crossings, so that you have to slow down to at least 25 miles an hour, so pay attention to that. You'll see that again around cities and schools and things like that. What this means is open joints on bridge. Now when they put bridges together, the joints are not closely fit, so that means it can cause motorcyclists to lose control. So if you have a motorcycle, you have to be paying attention to these signs here, and that you have to slow down because of those joints. Here in this sign it says 35 miles an hour on a curve coming up, so you want to slow down to that. Sometimes, you know, when you're traveling anywhere from 55 miles an hour and you're coming up on a turn, you will see these type of signs to slow down. Here is another pedestrian sign that you have to watch for people entering in a crosswalk. Okay, and again, pedestrians and people always have the right of way, so you have to pay attention to that. This is another sign that says that bicycles are entering in the crosswalk as well, or crossing the street, or riding side by side with you. There's a bicycle lane, so you have to pay attention to these signs and pay attention to your surroundings. When you see this sign with a Y in it, you can either go right or left, and that you have to be prepared to make that decision. This sign says that in the middle of the curve there is a road connecting to the curve, so you have to pay attention to oncoming traffic and take that curve with caution. This sign here with a direct arrow going to the right shows you that there's a sharp turn coming up. You'll have to slow down for. This sign shows that the road ahead curves to the right and to the left, so that you have to be aware of what's coming ahead. This sign will show you that the road ahead turns sharply to the right and then to the left, so you definitely want to proceed with caution. This road sign here will show you that it winds a series of turns coming up, and to proceed slowly with going through those curves. This one means that there's a four-way intersection coming up, and be prepared to stop. This sign here shows you a set of railroad tracks and a slope at the top of the tracks, so you have to be aware that you need to slow down for the railroads, and that there's a steep incline. This railroad sign is pretty much universal, but you have to be aware that you have to stop, listen, and slow down, and be prepared to stop for trains. Now on our temporary traffic control signs and symbols, when you see a lot of construction on the road, you'll see barrels or cones, and that once you see that, that means that there's a work zone there, and that you cannot go beyond the speed limit that's posted for work construction. Okay, you do not want to change lanes or until you are completely clear of the work zone. Your fines will double or even triple if you're speeding through a construction zone. Okay, when you see this triangle, this orange triangle, that means that you cannot travel more than 25 miles an hour going through a work zone. When you see flashing arrows like this on panels, it usually means that there's going to be a shoulder close, a lane close, that you have to make preparations to move over either to the right or to the left, and to be prepared to shift lanes. And finally, when you see road work ahead or detour, be sure that you slow down, because it means that there's construction coming up, and usually they'll have these signs about 1,000 feet before you reach the construction zone. So those are the traffic signs that I wanted to talk to you about. These are very important that you memorize what they are and what they do, so that you can drive safely on the roads, and that you can be prepared to stop when you need to stop. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you have safe driving.